But new research is raising red flags about how reliable those answers really are. A new study from Just Facts found ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude were more likely to repeat political falsehoods from the left than the right. And new research suggests Chinese censorship is creeping into American AI, with chatbots quietly echoing pro-Beijing narratives. In one test, Claude willingly created flyers criticizing President Trump, but refused to do the same for China's Xi Jinping. Kennedy, what do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, it's the same problem that we've seen with Apple for over a decade. The reason they are feeding anti-Western propaganda, pro-Beijing propaganda into these AI systems is so they can have access to Chinese markets when they finally open, when they're like, you know what, go ahead and use your AI systems here. The more the merrier. They're never really going to say that. They're going to steal our technology in order to improve the systems they have that were already based on stolen technology from us. But it is in the best interest of these companies, in order to protect free speech and to save lives, to make sure that what is being fed into them is, you know, not only meets some standards that they should be setting for themselves, but that aren't just these completely pro-authoritarian tropes, which, you know, a lot of people, if you find a lump, if you have a rash, you know, your tech savvy friend will be like, just put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell you what's wrong with you. And then you're like, ChatGPT is like, no, the lump is great. Like, don't ever see a doctor for that. That is completely normal.
Right.
It turns out, like, you may have skin cancer. You know, you may have a tumor growing, you know, just under the surface of your skin. But because people listen to this and they're filled with afactual information, that can be deadly. But, you know, Mark Zuckerberg is going to spend $130 billion building data centers. Why not take a good chunk of that money and make sure that Gemini is above board? And, you know, not only spewing leftist propaganda, but the pro-Chinese variety as well.
Well, I know we got your attention, Jackie, with a couple words there, including Mark Zuckerberg. And this is very non-libertarian. But to Kennedy's point about what you're feeding into this thing, and if you're hoovering up a ton of pro-tyranny, pro-communist China stuff, should there be a law that just says if you want to run an AI model in the United States, you can't get your data from China, you can't get your inputs from China, you can't get your models from China? Do we need a firewall to prevent that kind of thing?
I like that idea, and I think about the TikTok issue and how we didn't want people signing up for that platform knowing that China was involved. People here would see different things than Chinese kids were seeing at home, and the president tried to rectify that issue. So I don't really see a huge difference when it comes to China regarding the models, and I think we should move forward in that way. But we scratched on this yesterday about AI being potentially woke, and I didn't know we were doing this story. So I went home, and you know, I talk to AI every night now. I'm using the microphone.
I do.
I'm not going to tell you which AI I use because somebody on Twitter said I was shilling for a company, which I'm not, but I have a preferred platform that I use. And so I asked AI if it was woke. It actually got a little offended.
Whoa.
It wrote back to me and said that it tries to be as neutral as possible, gives me answers, you know, to show both sides of the coin, and that it doesn't try to give any kind of party lines.
And then it passed your name on to the CCP
Maybe.
in China.
And then I said to it, okay, well, how do you do your sourcing? And it said, you know, I go right and I left, and I go left, and I try to give you a little bit of everything, both points of view. And then I said, what do you think of Donald Trump? And it did do that, but I'm wondering if I put AI on notice with my first question being, are you woke? That it was going very legal with me, both sides of the story. Here's what he's good at, here's what he's been criticized for. But I thought the exercise was very interesting.
I'm thinking about, we talk about the kids, you know, and like how they're going to be aided. Like artificial intelligence can be a great aid to young people as I'm thinking, like, would I ever hand my kid a Chinese textbook on world history?
No.
Or a Cuban textbook on economics? The answer would be no. I would not want to feed that into their algorithm. And I wonder, is there any difference between that and what we're talking about here with the AI models.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up something very practical here that people need to understand. You have a preferred platform. I have a preferred platform. But what I've learned is they all have biases, right? And they're all closed weight systems. So it's the settings are set. We're going to ingest 90% from Chinese media and 10% over here, and it somehow equals 100. But you have to use these models against each other, right? You just like you would teach in a classroom, don't base your entire paper or report on a single source. You have to use multiple sources. So that lends itself to using multiple platforms. But then more importantly, we've talked about this last week or the week before about open weight versus closed weight, where we can actually see in and turn the dials, like on a music mixer. What are the inputs? Because what we ultimately want is something that ingests all information, factually based, so that it can generate but you can't eliminate one key thing that we've talked about here before, critical thinking. Like, you can't rely on AI to think for you. You have to have that. The prompting is more important than to get the right output.
Not
questioning.
Not according to Sam Altman.
Well, Sam Altman actually...
He said it's like having 5 PhDs in your pocket.
Right, but Sam Altman...
That's a crowded little pocket.
Small PhDs.
Yeah, exactly right. Teeny tiny PhDs. Yeah. But, conceivably, they are critical thinkers. If you've been through enough school that you have defended your dissertation and gotten your PhD, and you've got 4 little buddies in there, my goodness.
But that's bad marketing. I mean, Sam Altman, he also admitted earlier models, if you threatened physical harm, they would give you the response that you want, right? So if it didn't want to do the work because they were trying to minimize how much they were going to spend, you could say, look, I'm really going to hurt you. I'm from New Jersey, and this is how we handle things. It would then all of a sudden go away and do the work. So it's not perfect. It's a tool.
I just want to congratulate you on getting married, because God bless you. Congratulate. Kennedy just got married. For those who don't know, let's lift a glass. Cheers. Have a wonderful, wonderful wedding. Salud.
Thank you.
All right. Having said all that, surprise, surprise. I mean, just like Google, AI is derivative. I mean, we all knew that.
Yeah.
The productivity comes from the speed with which it does it and the way it sources and gathers material. That's where the productivity comes. The productivity is real. I mean, that's one reason why we have all these profits. We are able to do things now much quicker than we used to be able to do it. We can produce more information. We can produce more products based on that information, whether they're really important stuff like medical research or whether they're frivolous stuff like toys. I mean, you find ways of doing things through AI, but it is derivative. And your point is perfect, I think. The open sourcing, this is really a call for open sourcing, because even though the Chinese want to load us with a lot of their propaganda, everybody's always trying to feed propaganda in this. And what we have to do is to create the channels. It is on us to realize what is happening, to realize that everybody's trying to feed you the propaganda that they believe in, and it's up to you to form the sourcing. And with an open source system, you can do that. You can provide specific channels that you like and specific channels. Is it going to lead to prejudice? Of course it is. Surprise, surprise, we all have our prejudices, and we all like the things that we are prejudiced about. So people are going to do that anyway. That's the human way. So open source, I've kind of been up and down about open versus closed, because no, I don't want the Chinese to get into our open system that will allow them to worm their way into our bank accounts. There are real dangers, and Brian was talking about, or Jackie, I guess, was talking about, there are certain times at which you have to put up walls to make sure that doesn't happen. That is the role for the government. I'm afraid I hate to say it, I hate to put government in things, but sometimes there are roles for government. I think that's it. Open borders are going to create problems, whether you're talking about our southern border or you're talking about borders to AI. So it's going to happen. If it's open, it gives us a better opportunity to choose for ourselves what kind of sourcing.
So let me ask about that, because like that basic philosophical view of things is open things up, let people evaluate and decide. That makes sense to me in the world we have all lived in, okay? In the world of AI isn't, I'm going to argue with one point, I don't think AI is just derivative. AI is also integral. So AI may derive inputs to build itself, but then it becomes an input into all of society. So it has a different effect than opening up a textbook. It takes on its own life and begins to inform.
Yeah, but that was happening with Google long ago. So I mean, whenever anybody was Googling, they kind of lost sight of the fact that somebody was making the decision about what sources they would use. So, and then we realized it wasn't that way.
I don't think so. I think it's a difference in kind, not a difference in degree with AI. The reason I raise that is because I don't know if you can therefore say we will allow all kinds of AI with the backing of an adversary, a known adversary. We would allow all those kinds of AI to operate in our society and say we're going to sort that out.
Would you prohibit all open source?
Well, see, and I would also say there's a slight difference between how we're talking about this. An open weight model doesn't mean that you can get it from anywhere. It means the model is structured so that you can tinker with how it works, but it doesn't mean it gets its data from anywhere. So I like open weight models, I would say. I like the ability to tinker, but what I get concerned about is any model that's plugged into a source that is consistently and deliberately feeding values that are antithetical to the society that we're building.
So, who's going to make that decision?
That's a really important distinction.
So I want to throw that to you on that.
Versus open source.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to have to do is come up with an AI system to counter the AI system. Like that, it's going to get to the point where we no longer trust our own understanding of technology, and we are going to have to come up with it's like we're all going to have dragons, right? And they're going to breathe fire, and they're going to be able to mow down entire villages. So you're going to have dragons that counteract the dragons.
I actually had, by the way, Grok. I was in Grok looking for something, and they began the answer with Dave. Dave.
No.
They called me Dave.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know where they got that. I don't
2001,
particularly like to be called Dave, but they called me Dave.
But Lou's right. Like you're going to have to use different systems.
2001.
Like as much as it feels good, you cannot just rely on one system.
I have a system that Claude puts it out, and I put it into ChatGPT, and I have them compare and compete against each other.
Oh,
because
good.
they fact check.
You tell them they're fighting?
Yeah, absolutely. I say, hey, you're competing against this model here, and this is the goal, and then it's 2 or 3 iterations, and it fact checks. And
Right.
You got to have money to do
team of
all.
rivals.
Can I just say one thing? Buyer beware on all of this. You brought up the issue of putting a medical input. You have a problem, you put it in, and you can use that as background to question your doctor further or have a little bit of knowledge on the baseline of whatever your problem is. But buyer beware. AI is not a doctor. You got to go see your doctor. And
Or a therapist.
Or therapist. They do put the disclaimer at the bottom to that effect. And I think people need to take that seriously. AI is not gospel. It's not God. Fact check, do extra sourcing, talk to a human.
It's not.
Says the one that's talking to AI every night. When she
I
goes,
do, but I use it to build my knowledge
ChatGPT tell you to
base
say that?
to ask more questions.
Yeah.